Dalish prisoners escaped safely?
We got them away free and clear.
Good. Whatever my frustrations with them, it feels good to have helped my people again. Thank you for allowing me to help. Chance to infuriate Elganan was a reminder of simpler times.
You and Elganan were really tearing into one another back there.
I needed to goad him to anger in order to distract him.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, while all of the Evanuris were monsters in their own ways, Elganan was the worst. Or perhaps it is more honest to say that his were the faults I've found most objectionable. You have met him now. Heard his voice hammering at the doors of your mind. And you have met me. Can you see how he and I might frustrate one another?
The way the two of you argued, it didn't feel like enemies. It felt like family.
How so?
Family knows you better than anyone. And that can be good or bad.
I had not thought of it that way. But yes, we had centuries to stoke the fires of our hatred. I saw his rise to tyranny coming, and could not stop it. And he saw me disrupt his plans for dominion time and time again.
All right. I can see how you and Elganan would hate each other.
He has always been what I most feared becoming. Callous and uncaring, his arrogance unchecked. To have that much power and no one to remind him that he could be wrong.
Well, he had you.
And I suppose I had you.
You said you found the Dalish frustrating. Why is that?
It is unfair to them. I lived for thousands of years, and after I imprisoned the Evanuris, I slept for thousands more. I awoke in a world that had forgotten the ancient times almost entirely. And those who tried to remember Elven history, like the Dalish, had gotten so much wrong.
I suspect them calling Elganan and Gillenane and all the rest gods didn't go over well with you.
Indeed. To see that the history the Dalish worked so hard to preserve was the propaganda of tyrants was vexing. I tried to explain the truth to one clan. When I convinced them that I was truly Fen'Harel, they attacked me. After that, I hid my explanations behind the facade of having witnessed events in the Fade.
And every mage knows that what we see in the Fade might not be literally true.
Yes. The Dalish had no reason to believe me. I could only watch as they continued to worship Elganan, though we may have seen the last of that tradition, at least.
We would have had a hard time getting out of there without your help.
I did not spend this long preparing you only to lose you to Elganan's machinations. No, I am sorry. That was poorly said. You have earned better from me.
Okay.
When we first met, I saw you only as a foolishly confident child who disrupted my plans. You were an irritant. I gave you information to oppose Elganan out of necessity, but I expected you to be nothing more than a tool. Seeing you with your team, I was wrong.
I'm impressed you got that out without choking on it.
If I could not admit when I was wrong, I would be no better than Elganan. Your team trusts you, and you listen to them. It is impressive and enviable. It took me centuries to build such a bond during my rebellion, and when I served the Inquisition, I tried to avoid entanglements.
What about the Inquisitor? Does he not count as a friend?
He does. One of several I grew fond of despite myself when I was with the Inquisition. There was also Cole, a spirit of compassion I helped adapt to our world. He was the only one who knew who I really was. I miss him a great deal. Josephine, the Inquisition's ambassador, was a bastion of kindness and decency in a world that looked down on elves and apostates. Even Cassandra Pendergast of the Order of the Seekers. She was what a believer should be. Faithful, practical, committed to serving, not ruling. I suppose I did bond with the Inquisition after all, as you have with your team.
Thank you for sharing that. So what comes next? What are the gods going to do?
Elganan and Gillenane are preparing the dagger they will use for their ritual to pierce the veil. Elganan's power is tied to light and darkness. He will need to perform a ritual during the next eclipse.
That gives us some time to prepare.
It is likely to be your last chance to do so. You must be ready for whatever comes, for this world and for the team that trusts you. I know that you will do everything in your power not to fail them.
So now Algernon's recovered his own archdemon, and the gods only need an eclipse to complete their dagger.
We saved the Dalish, though. That's important.
But now Elgernon's immortal, so long as his archdemon lives.
And we all know how hard those things are to kill.
We killed Razikale, didn't we?
After losing hundreds of wardens, and it took a centuries-old trap to do it. We don't have either of those. Not anymore.
Just when you think the tide's in your favor, it turns right back.
Today could have gone better, but it could have gone much worse. We fought off the Venatori and rescued the Dalish. That's a win by any standard. Rest up and be ready to go. Next time the gods appear, let's make sure it's the last.
Ah, hello there. Just admiring how carefully the Fade is woven into this place, as cultivated as a palace garden.
That's old elven stuff for you. Magic everywhere you look, and also where you don't.
I do envy you, Rook.
Really?
A young rebel striking from the shadows against Tevinter's empire? Not to mention traveling with Varric. The adventures you've already had.
I guess I have had some pretty great times.
Oh, I'd love to hear about more of them.
Really?
Work was always my excuse not to travel. But now that I've joined you, I'm finally exploring outside Navarra's crypts. Ah, speaking of the necropolis.
Yes?
I've been meaning to ask how you'd like your body prepared in the event of your death.
Just cremate me.
I feared that might be your answer.
Why? Need the spare parts?
I'm always here to discuss proper burial options. Ah, he's finished the reagent. Please excuse us. Excellent work, Manfred.
This smells amazing. Does all coffee smell like this? Or just the stuff you make?
Coffee has a distinct aroma, if that's what you're asking.
Sorry. It was really rare where I grew up. And expensive.
I don't need coffee to get going. Adrenaline's enough.
Speak for yourself.
So, Harding, what do you think?
It's... delicious.
Really selling it, Harding.
Hey, I've known some liars, and I am definitely not it. And this stuff? It's good. It's warm.
I won't be upset if you don't like coffee.
He really wouldn't.
I know, but, sorry. It's just this thing I do sometimes.
Acting so people will like you?
It sounds terrible when you say it like that. I know I don't need to do it. I just do.
Well, everyone you know seems to like you, so you're good.
Good job, Lace.
You must have been pretty tiny as a child.
Where'd that come from?
A tiny dwarven girl in a land of large human farmers.
Oh, yeah. I probably learned pretty quick that things worked out better if people liked me. If they agreed with me, or I agreed with them.
Some people like cream or sugar in their coffee.
Maybe coffee just isn't my thing.
I can't believe you're asking for a favor as though nothing's happened.
What crapped in your bed?
Sorry, didn't know you two were in the middle
Rook,
of...
excellent. Come in. We could use a second sober voice.
I'm not drunk. You're drunk.
It's a figure of speech.
I was wondering when this had happened.
I don't follow.
You two didn't seem to be bonding.
I need one of these little needle things to dig some crap out of my armor. Death Mage won't give me one.
First, a bone threader is an extremely delicate instrument. Second, it's Emmerich. Tash, my name is Emmerich, not Death Mage, not Corpse Guy, not... I won't repeat the rest.
What? You are a Death Mage.
Why are all my attempts to converse with you met with scorn? What have I done to you, Tash?
You talk about corpses too much.
It's a rich topic.
No, corpses are messed up. They used to have people in them. You make a move like they're alive, but they smell wrong and they move wrong, and none of it is okay.
Oh.
Especially the ones with skin still on them.
Look, you two may never be best friends,
Nope.
but maybe we can aim for getting along?
I'd no idea necromancy upset you so deeply, Tash. Quite honestly, I didn't think you feared anything.
I don't. But I could have said it was bugging me. I didn't think you cared what I thought.
Of course I do. We're colleagues on this journey.
Okay. Sorry I called you a liker. Skull liker.
You two could still learn things together you'd never find out alone. Emmerich, you clearly find talking about dragons boring.
What? How? Who doesn't like dragons?
Aren't you curious why Tash likes them as much as you like necromancy?
The question crossed my mind.
And maybe Emmerich could help demystify magic, Tash.
Maybe he could share a little. So I know how to deal with walking corpses next time I'm in an old ruin.
I'd be happy to.
Thought you might be.
Well, he did worse than just try to kill me.
Really?
The guy stiffed me on the job. Those were good potions I used. Expensive, too.
Right, that makes sense.
How's it going over here?
It's okay. You know.
You can take my seat, Rook. I was just leaving. Belle, swing by when you get a chance. I found another set of papers for you.
Thanks, Nev. That's nice. Sorry, Rook. Not great company right now.
You just want to sit here quietly. That's fine. I can do quiet.
You're not very good at silence.
I'm great at most silences, just bad at awkward ones.
Fair enough.
Now for the part I'm not great at. Here I go. What's wrong, Balara?
Nothing, Rook. Don't worry about it.
I asked, didn't I?
It's Syrian. You saw who he is, what he's become.
Yeah.
He's a monster, Rook.
And you're worried about what you'll need to do to stop him.
I'm worried I won't be able to, or won't want to. Anaris brought Syrian back. My brother. When he asked me to join them, what if I'm too much like Syrian?
If you were, you wouldn't have turned them down. Which you did.
I did, but Rook, it was hard. I wanted my brother back. I mean, before all of this, Syrian and I were the same. Inquisitive, driven, pushing ourselves. The search for the Nadister Thalin, the archive, that was both of us, working together. I want to say I'll keep saying no, keep turning him down, but he's my brother. What keeps me from doing what he did?
You're part of the team. We watch each other's backs. And we have a strict no turning evil policy.
How do you enforce that?
I ask you not to turn evil. In a firm voice. I'll work on it. I'm kind of making this up as I go.
Our team motto, pretty much.
Let's paint that on the side of the lighthouse.
I'm sure Solus would love that.
You good?
I'm good. Thanks, Rook. I'll see you later.
No. I had to kill a man once who did blood magic on nugs. 100 little pigs with hands came after me. All together in one big writhing ball. Have you ever tried to stab a ball of angry nugs? That was a bad job.
I've got a better one. You know what the Wandering Hills are named for? It's a monster. Big heap of red tentacles that crawls around, devouring everything in its path. The damn thing was a hillside, size of a village. You try fighting a hill with a sword sometime.
How did you kill it?
Lamp oil. Everything stank of burnt tentacles for miles after.
If the two of you were going to open a bottle, you might have told me first.
It's not a good bottle.
Might have to pick up a supply. I have a feeling we'll need it. Is anyone else hungry? Maybe I should cook something.
What about you, Rook? What's the worst job you've ever been on?
Nevin Harding didn't tell you about our hunt for Solus, then?
They don't tell it the way you would.
I mean, it ended with the elven god of lies in my head. Is that enough to win the worst job contest?
You joining us, then?
Fine. I'll cook something, if Rook's staying.
Maybe just for a minute.
Rook's story first. Then Lucanus owes me one about this contract on a Bronto.
Mierda. That Bronto.